Buongiorno, welcome to my channel. Today I am going to share with you my first impression on some new releases that I managed to test and smell today. So I went to Milano, and sorry, this time I didn't take you with me like in a vlog style because I am very tired today and I have a very bad allergy, so my eyes actually now it's looking good, but they were very red and I was just not in the mood. To be honest, I noticed that it's not my most popular videos, so I really don't know if I will continue with this series. So today I decided just to skip the part where I show you a part of Milano and just stick to my first impression on the new releases and also some old ones that I managed to smell. So tell me please in the comments down below your feedbacks. Do you prefer the older version or this one, or maybe neither? So I will know what to do in the future. I know I am a mess today, but I really, this is the whole point of like this videos, that I don't prepare for it, so you will see me natural, how I normally look, without any makeup or like anything. First thing I did, I went to Armani and tested the new Cypress Pantelleria, or Cypress Pantelleria. It's a very aromatic fragrance. Shares a lot of similarities with Eden Rock from, or the new release from the private collection from Christian Dior. They have the same base, but Cypress Pantelleria is stronger, more aromatic, still fresh and summer appropriate like Eden Rock, but it doesn't have this mineral touch to it. It's not floral like Eden Rock where you can smell the jasmine. It's stronger and has a better performance, not groundbreaking. For these kind of fragrances, you'll always have to adjust your expectations in terms of longevity and sillage. But yeah, if we compare both of them, this is much stronger and lasts longer and has better performance. I really like it, but I prefer Eden Rock because this is definitely leaning masculine, while Eden Rock, in my opinion, is more, sorry, this is my cat, they are fighting. Anyway, while Eden Rock is leaning feminine, this is leaning masculine, and I like this mineral floral note that Eden Rock has. So if you know Eden Rock and it was too feminine or light for you, then check Cypress Pantelleria from Armani Prive. By the way, I did do a full review on Eden Rock, which I will leave linked up here if you want to watch it. Then I went and asked if they have the new fragrance from BDK, Velvet Tonka, but they didn't. But I saw they have Miller Harris and Clémence from CC Clémence Fragrances, I think is her channel name. I will leave it linked down below. She raves about Scherzo from Miller Harris. So I tested it, and this is an oud rose combination, but very different to your typical rose oud fragrances. So it's very soft, light in a good way, elegant. The oud here is very refined. It's not animalic, it's not overpowering, it's not taking over, if you know what I mean. It's everything is very smooth, light, classy. This is a very elegant fragrance, and surprisingly for an oud scent, I would say this is appropriate for all occasion, all year around. I mean, this is an all-rounder. Definitely screams a mature, classy woman. It gives me vibe to Rose d'Arabie from Armani Prive, from what I remember. I have a sample, so I will check after the video and then tell you in the description, or I will write it down here in the video if they are really similar. But Rose d'Arabie is much stronger, very your typical strong oud rose combination. This one I actually prefer, although it's not a fragrance that I would run and buy. It's really nice, and I would say this is a beginner friendly oud. So yeah, that was Miller Harris Scherzo. Then I went to Guerlain and I asked about Tiazzurra from the Allegoria line. I was almost sure it is discontinued, but I wanted to be sure, and yes, it's discontinued, so you can't get it anymore. But she made me smell one of like their more private collection from Guerlain, and this is Floral Romantique. It's a very, it's again a tea fragrance, but it's very smoky, a little bit floral, but not my vibe. It's cozy, it's more appropriate for cold days. But yeah, I don't like it. Then I wanted to smell coconut fizz from the Allegoria line. I wanted to blind buy it, and then I thought, since I'm here, why not test it and see if I should? And thank God that I did, because I don't like it. It's a very, very nice, pleasant scent. The coconut is not the cloying, like in the suntan lotion kind of a coconut, which I don't like very much. This is more of a fruity coconut, and it has a very interesting note of watermelon, which really elevates the coconut and makes it lighter, fresher, very, very refreshing. It's a very refreshing fragrance. But I don't like it because of the watermelon. So the watermelon here gives a very cheap synthetic vibe to the fragrance. So now I am happy that I didn't blind buy this one. I like it, but I will not buy it. I like it in the sense that, like Passiflora, it's a fragrance that I would love to open, sniff, but never wear. And by the way, at least on paper, has an amazing longevity. My whole purse was smelling of coconut fizz. Then I went to Sephora as usual and smelled a lot of fragrances this time. Some are new and some are old fragrances. And the first fragrance that I tested was Idole Aura. I have it here in the dry down on my hand. It's a very fresh, sweet rose. It loses this fresh touch with the time and gets more warm and more sweet. And in the very dry down, this fragrance takes a twist and becomes a vanilla, a salty vanilla with a touch of rose. At least on my skin, in the dry down, the rose is really in the background, while the opening you really get the rose. In the very, very dry down on my skin, the rose takes back seat and you get a lot of vanilla, salty vanilla. It has some similarities with Paco Rabanne Olympia, from what I remember. I don't own Olympia, so I can't do a full comparison, but from what I remember, it has the same vibe, but in more of a refined, soft way. I will test this fragrance in the coming days and do the full comparison. So this is only my first impression. I think this will be a hit. This is even more mass pleasing than the two original ones. So I think they did a good job. I'm not sure if I will buy this one. So that was Idole Aura. I also smelled the new flanker, the Eau de Toilette version of Givenchy I just can't pronounce this name. Irresistible. And again, I like it, but I don't think that I will buy it. It's like the original version, but they took the iris. So what made me declutter the original one was the overload of iris in the original one. This one has iris, but it's really in the background, or at least I don't get it so much, and is very sweet, and it's very, very girly and sweet, even more sweeter than Idole Aura. I would recommend this one over the original one. Both have this young vibe to them, but this is definitely even more. So I would consider this one as a gift for a teenager or a younger woman below 30. But again, this is just subjective. Fragrances, you can wear what you want at any age. This is just my personal opinion. So yeah, that was Givenchy Irresistible Eau de Toilette. Then the lady made me smell an old fragrance called Izia, I think, from Sicily. And this is a very unique fragrance. This is very classy, very mature kind of a fragrance. It has this old, not vintage, it has this old perfumery vibe to it. It's really hard to describe the fragrance. It's definitely a floral fragrance. Very refined, very elegant, signature worthy. It has a little bit of a cold vibe to it, more clean. I guess there is aldehydes here, but it's not like Chanel No. 5. It's really contemporary. Yeah, I know now how to describe this fragrance. This is as if you took a vintage fragrance and you modified it to make it more modern. You know this vibe? This is how this fragrance smells like. It has an amazing lasting power. It really projects and remains for a long time on your skin. But it's very, very expensive for what it is, to be honest. So I was pleasantly surprised, but I don't think that this will go on my wish list. Then I tested the new flanker from Kenzo, the Kenzo Flower Eau de Toilette. And I was not really impressed. It's very generic. It's a very, very nice fruity floral fragrance, but very generic. Nothing special about it. It's not bad, but nothing special to me. It doesn't have a very good performance. It totally disappeared now on my skin. So although I know it's an eau de toilette, but I mean Cypress Pantelleria, I also tested on my skin. I can still smell it, while this one is totally gone. So that was an okay fragrance, but I'm not going to buy it, as I said, because it's very generic. You definitely smell it or have something similar in your collection already. So that was Kenzo Flower Eau de Toilette. And then the lady made me smell Kenzo Elixir. And I actually have a decant, because when you buy a fragrance from Sephora and you buy also a pocket atomizer, you can fill the atomizer with a fragrance of your choice. So when she made me smell that fragrance, I was really intrigued. So I decided to choose this fragrance to fill my atomizer with. So let's give it a sniff. It was very warm, very sexy fragrance. And I actually saw this one being decluttered in a lot of like fragrance reviews channels. Warm, sexy, winter appropriate date night kind of a fragrance. It's sweet, but not too much. It's very nice. It has a little bit of powderiness here, but it's not iris nor violet, maybe heliotrope, I don't know. It has a powdery touch to it. So I would recommend this one if you are looking for like a sexy date night fragrance suitable for winter time, but maybe La Belle Parfum was too intense for you or was too spicy from the tonka bean, because the tonka bean I feel has a little bit of a spicy touch to it, and you love a little bit of a powdery touch to your fragrances, then this is perfect for you in my opinion. Still, I have to test it on my skin, but my first impression is really good on this one. And I did purchase a new fragrance, not a new fragrance, it's not a new release, it's an old fragrance. But I will save it for a haul that I will film in the coming days. Then I went to Zara and bought myself a hat. Oh my god. I look ridiculous, but yeah. Anyway, I needed a hat because my old one I ruined by washing it. I know, a big mistake, but yeah. I learned my lesson. Anyway, since I was in Zara, of course, I tested the fragrances. So there is a new collection. I think it's also in a collaboration with Jo Malone. I'm not sure. No, it's not saying Jo Malone. So I tested all these new releases. It's from Zara Blossom, I think is called like the collection. I tested all of them. Only two. There were two that I couldn't test because the tester was not available. One was something with leather, I think bergamot and leather. And the other one, what was it? I will leave it, I will search for it and leave the name here. And all the rest I didn't like. But I fell in love with one, and this is, how to pronounce? Cerise Peonies. I don't know how to pronounce this name, but yeah. So a new peony fragrance is added to my collection. By the way, I did a dedicated video on peony fragrances, which I will leave link up here if you want to watch it. I am not going to unbox this one. I will leave it for my whole video, which I will film in the coming days. So yeah, again, stay tuned. So that was it. I hope you liked this video and you found it helpful. And if you did, please give it a thumb up and consider subscribing to my channel. I do here a lot of fragrance reviews and I have quite exciting videos coming soon on this channel. So make sure to hit the notification bell so you will get notified when I upload a new video. Thanks a lot for watching and see you next time. Ciao!